Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we're about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, executive director. Today is Tuesday. So you know what that means. We're going to have another segment of our hidden gems for y'all that's just tuning in, or maybe this is your first time watching. Every Tuesday, we have this powerful segment of hidden gems where we continue to highlight our Black and brown businesses, our community leaders and organizations, and folks that are doing positive things that impact our community. And today we have a couple of phenomenal gems coming on tonight. So we're excited about that. I know in the Bay Area, it's been raining. I see the thunder, the storms, the streets are just flooded everywhere. People are like, what is going on? We haven't had rain in California in about 5 years with this drought. But it is nice to see that we are getting some rain, and the snowpack in the Sierra is happening heavy. So to the folks that's up there dealing without power, be safe and hang in there. But it is nice to see the weather for once getting some rain, but it's been dangerous on the road. So I hope community is taking it a little slow out there. I know a lot of people stayed home because of the flash flood warnings. A lot of people took off work. So thank you to those folks who were able to get out, being in the community today. The traffic was a little bit light, but there was puddles, there was accidents, things happening. And, just hope everybody was safe out there. And for our folks that still out power, we pray that they get their power and things back on. But with that being said, my co-host is here. Pretty Tony. Y'all didn't see her on Sunday, but she's back in the new year. This is my first time hosting with Tony in 2023. Tony, what's going on? Talk to the people, Tony.
What's up, John? Hi, community. Happy New Year. Yes, like John said, it's my first both sides of the conversation show. So I missed this platform. We can't be taking breaks like that because I get all discombobulated and stuff. I don't know the dates, the year, like it was a lot going on. But like John said, it's super wet out there. You know, I've been in California for about 18 years now, and I never seen the thunder or lightning before. And I was feeling like I was in Oklahoma. Like, are we about to have a tornado watch or what? Because, I'm from Oklahoma and I'm used to that kind of stuff. But we in Cali and all this stuff is going on. It's kind of confusing to you, girl. So, yeah, I hope everybody is staying warm and driving safely. I seen a truck upside down on the freeway today. It was very scary. I just started praying for that person or whoever was involved because it is very, scary with the weather and everything. But John, it's 2023. We made it.
We made it another year. Greater things is coming. And I've been telling people, they like, What do you see? What I see is great things in 2023. Okay.
I
was just telling them earlier, it's a storm right now, right, Tony? But we
Right.
all know after the storm, there's a blessing. I don't know what it is, Tony, but I just feel like
agree.
in 2023, after the storm, there'll be a blessing. So I'm waiting for the blessing. I hope everybody knows through every storm, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your financial life, whether it's in your relationship, through the storm, there is a blessing on the other side of that. So just stay, as they say, stay steady, stay persevering, and doing what you do. But Tony, again, thanks to seeing you here 2023. I know the beauticians are happy because the rains is messing up some of that nice hair. But the hair shops is popping right now.
That's what hats is for. That's what hats is for. Thank you very much.
They making money. Our black businesses are thriving during the storm. Okay, all the ladies are going to get their hair done because they don't want no kinky stuff. So I know the ladies in the barbershop. Shout out to all of our phenomenal barbershops.
Shout out to
that keep our beautiful people beautiful. Okay,
thank you.
We're talking about beauty and unity in 2023. Okay,
that's right. I'm excited for what we about to do for 2023. Both sides of the conversation. As you know, like John said, this is your first time joining our platform. Welcome. This is a community-based organization, and we care about community. This is our platform, but also your platform. And so I'm just excited for what's about to come.
Man, definitely, Tony. Well, with that being said, community, every show, y'all know we got to get through a couple of announcements, what's going on, and then our events, and then we'll get into our first hidden gem tonight. So first, I just want to go over some of the stuff. We already talked about the news. There are still severe thunderstorms moving through the Bay Area throughout the night into tomorrow. Again, flash flood warnings in certain Bay Area counties. Please be safe out there. If you have elders that you are responsible for, are you worried about, please check on them. There's been a lot of fallen trees. Make sure that their refrigerators are working. They have power, lights, and access to their medications if need be. If not, if it's not an emergency, please use the 311 community. A lot of people are still calling 911, okay? We don't need to call 911. Please use the 311 for non-emergencies. And I know that list and those messages are getting backed up, but please use the right protocols. We want to make sure that our emergency people, if there's anything going on for 911, they could get there and help support our folks during this storm. So just be safe. If you are driving in areas where you see a large amount of standing water, please don't drive through it. I've seen a number of folks, cars going under the roof, water above their roof, okay? You don't know how deep it is. Be careful. Be safe out there. Let's be smart. I know it haven't rained in a while here in the Bay Area, but let's all do our part to be safe, uplift each other, and slow down so that we can save a life. And that's very important. Also, great news today. The Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin has been released from the hospital. As you all know, last Monday night, the young brother suffered cardiac arrest on the football field after a tackle. They was unsure. Just want to say shout out to this amazing country. There was a lot of people, all creeds, all background, that was just praying for this young man, praying for his family. And we always tell people in our community, there's power in prayer, okay? Don't think those prayers wasn't heard. And we just thank the Lord that, this young brother walked away and, he's doing good. He walked away from the hospital, and just tremendous to see that. Shout out to the UC Medical Center of Connecticut or Cincinnati and all those amazing doctors and amazing folks who, did their part to help this young man out. That's a very powerful thing. So thank you, community. And let's
John, that story is very sad. It really touched my heart. But you think that man going to go back out on that field and continue what he started?
Most definitely. If he can, he will. If not,
that was scary, though. That was super scary.
But Tony, that's part of being a warrior. It's part of being a warrior. It's in our blood, okay? Don't ask why. It's just in our DNA. We wired like that, okay?
It's just like these people that get on these motorcycles and they ride bikes and then they get in a motorcycle accident and then they want to get back on the bike. I don't understand it. It's
something you would never understand. It's something in the man DNA that just.
Oh God! See, I was hoping you didn't go there this year. I just was concerned about the young man, and here you go. All right, I'm not.
All right, okay, we will stay on course. But no, definitely a very touching situation, and it was very powerful, Tony. So thank you for continuing to uplift that. Also, tragic news here in the Bay Area. The 19-year-old boy that the family said was missing over the New Year's Day was found dead in his vehicle. The family is still asking for questions and trying to find out what happened. Very tragic situation. Whatever it is, a young person lost their life over the holiday season in a car, and they don't know if it's storm related or what happened, but again, tragic news. With that being said, we're going to jump into our community events, and then we'll get our hidden gems up here tonight. Very important events coming up, and excuse me for all y'all. I want to say I'm very sorry. Thank you, community, for praying for me. Y'all know I've been dealing with COVID. I just want everybody to know, because people are like, why you didn't tell us what's up with your COVID? I tested negative today. I got one more day to test negative. So I'm excited. Things have been looking good. I feel great. So thank you, community, for checking on me. A lot of people called, checked, sending me stuff. John Henry, the bishop, we need you here. The bishop, I'm still here, okay? I took a negative today. I'm good. I'm feeling strong, and I'm ready to get back in the community and do what I do. But I'm going to be easy, okay, community? I'm going to take my time and move back into the community. So I'm going to be at some of the events. I'm not going to be at all of them. But the first event that we have up there is the free to Sing book launch that's happening with Dr. Director Davis of the Human Rights Commission. That is happening this Thursday, January the 12th at 6 p.m. Okay, this is a registered event. Please make sure that you go on the event Bright or on this website link up there and register if you would like to go. It's going to be at USF at the 2497 Golden Gate Avenue location. This is going to be something great for all y'all that know Director Davis of the Human Rights Community, Human Rights Commission. I can't get my words out. I don't know, it's COVID messing with my words. I'm tongue twisted. But Director Davis of the Human Rights Commission, as you all know, you guys know, she is very about education and reading and literacy. So this is going to be a great event. She's always doing some phenomenal things. I always say when it comes to this educational realm, she's a genius. And if you haven't seen her in action, please get out there, 6 p.m. this Thursday. This is going to be a phenomenal book launch. She's been working on books, different things. So this is going to be another great added legacy builder for her. But I told her she got to make the next character. Y'all can ask her. I told her the next character, she have to say one of the characters is John Henry, okay? Because I know she's gonna have some funny books.
We all know you're a character, so that'd be perfect.
Right. We gotta have that. But also, what's going on? Our next event, the Big Payback with Erica Alexander and Whitney Dow. That's happening Thursday, January the 12th, 7 p.m. The Commons look at this, KQED headquarters, 2601 Mariposa in San Francisco. This is an in-person event, $10 to enter, and the live stream is free. If you would like to register, please go to kqed.org. I told you, I don't know what happened after COVID, but I'm tongue twisted. I can't get my words out tonight. I don't know what's going on. Also, the Freedom, Justice, and Beloved Community Celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy is happening Friday, January the 13th, 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Herbert Theater. Please check out their box office information. We want to uplift and continue to keep the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King alive. I know some folks over the past couple of years with COVID have been asking. There are still events to go on to honor the great Dr. Martin Luther King. So community, over the next couple of days, you're going to see more and more of the Martin Luther King events. As we approach to this weekend, we want to continue to uplift and salute the great work that Brother King did. So you'll be getting more events as they roll out. We have some breakfasts, we have some dinners. I believe they're going to try to do the march again. We're just waiting to hear from the city. And once we find out all of the information, or maybe I missed it, I've been on COVID, but we will get it out to the community. We want our community to be a part of it. Also, our DKI community updates is happening Wednesday, January 18th, 5:30 p.m., 7 p.m. The Dreamkeeper link is in there if you want to know more about the Dreamkeeper initiative, what's going on. It's going to be a lot of things happening. I see great things happening in 2023, a lot more events, resources, things coming to impact community through this Dreamkeeper initiative. So I'm excited. We got our second annual bowling event coming. So, I'm pumped up about that as well. Also, our next update, we have the Fillmore Rhyme and Blues Show, Friday, February the 3rd. 8 p.m. To 11 p.m. at the Peacock Lounge at 552 Haight Street in San Francisco. If you would like to purchase tickets for that, please. The information is up there. Check out the Peacock Lounge. It should be a great blues show. They're going to have some phenomenal folks up there. So if you want to be in the community, with the community, it's a great event. If you like blues, go check it out. They're going to have a phenomenal showcase going over there on February the 3rd. Also, they're having more DKI updates on the 16th. They're going to be having another one, and we'll get that date to you on the 17th or the following week. But we'll continue to update. We want to make sure that community is connected and understand what's going on with Dreamkeeper. I know a lot of folks been having questions. Where's the next event? What's going on? How to connect? And that'll be where you will get more of that information. Also, I just said it. I gave it up too early. Our both sides of the conversation. Second, Family Community Bowl is happening, okay? It's going down, rain or shine, y'all. February the 18th, okay, in Pacifica, California at Sea Bowl. This is a family event for the community. It's free. Come celebrate with us. Come bowl with us. This is a great event that we're putting on to honor our African American History Month, our families, a number of things. So check out this event. It's going to be cool. We're going to have a number of our folks from the community there, and Pretty Tony will be there, okay? Community Pretty Tony will be there. So again, that information is up there. We'll be there from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, rain or shine. Also, we are still looking for sponsors. So all you phenomenal folks out there that want to sponsor and support, we're looking for some sponsors. Come help out the community, all right? Reach out to us. We would love to have your community logo a part of this amazing event, and we would like to have that support. So please reach out to us. Also, the MPX vaccination is still happening every Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at 701 Alabama Street. I also think they're doing a flu shot as well, but I'll find out this week when I get back into our public health meetings. But I think they're going to be doing flu shots as well. But at least for right now, if you need MPX, the monkeypox vaccination, please get up there every Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at 701 Alabama Street in San Francisco. Also, the Peace Park Friday Night Fun is still going on every Friday night from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Hamilton Rec Center at 1600 Gary Boulevard in San Francisco. That's a violence prevention event. It's a way to connect young people. If you have some young teenagers, bring them there. They got all type of things going on for the young folks to get them off the community and just get them engaging with each other. So if you have young folks that you want to get them together, and they have video games and music and dance and barbershop, they got all kind of stuff going on over there. Check it out, all right? Make sure our young folks have something to do on Friday nights. That's a great event that they're doing every Friday to keep the young folks with activities during the week. Also, the Saturday Family Fun Day is still going on every second and fourth Saturday. That's happening with the SF Rebel. They are still taking families and youth on sporting events and much more that they're doing to help connect communities. So shout out to my guy, Nate Ford, all right, and SF Rebels for all the amazing work they continue to do to uplift the families and the youth in our community. So shout out to the Rebels and all the work that they're doing. Also, our both sides of the conversation updates. We are still doing our BSOT capacity building fundraiser. We're going to be doing that until the end of the month. So just want to make sure community know we still have our capacity building fundraising going on. If you like to support that way, there's many ways you can support and help the work that we're doing because that's what it is. It's about uplifting the community. Also, we are still looking for volunteers. A lot of people in the community, Tony, 2023, talking about their New Year's resolution is, I want to give back to the community. I want to help out some people. I have skills. I want to do something. Hey, we got some opportunities over here for you at both sides of the conversation. You have skill sets and you want to help and be a part and connect with the community. We have some opportunities for volunteers. If you'd like to volunteer, reach out to us. Just reach out to our info at BSOTC, and somebody would like to reach out to you and support and see if you could help support the work that we're doing in community. Also, you can support us other ways. Maybe like John, I don't have time to do all that. Maybe I don't have time to get capacity building. You could go to Amazon Smile and support us that way as well. Go to Amazon Smile and click both sides of the conversation as one of your charitable organizations. No extra cost to you. Okay, all you have to do is just say, hey, I just want to support both sides of the conversation. Every time I order something on Amazon, 0.5% of your sales will get contributed to our organization. So if you'd like to help that way, ladies, I know y'all on Amazon. Okay, we just came from Christmas. Okay, I saw Amazon trucks everywhere. everywhere. Okay. Support us. Make sure you go ahead and support us. All right. There's an opportunity you can help us. And don't be hiding those gifts because I be seeing y'all hiding them. Okay. If you don't want me to tell your husband.
And fellas, go shop at Amazon because Valentine's Day is coming up. So
yes,
take it off the ladies. Y'all should be shopping for the ladies. So I want to see all the fellas. I'm not
in 2023. We're gonna use Amazon to deliver the flowers. Okay, either way it go, ladies, gentlemen, choose both sides of the conversation on Amazon Smile, and 0.5% of yourself can help us out. You can help out that way. All right. Thank you for that. And then to all of our community folks, new folks just tuning in, please support us by following us on all of our social media handles. Check us out at Both Sides of the Conversation. We on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We everywhere, okay? Just type in Both Sides of the Conversation and you will see us. And I apologize for coughing on the air. I'm still fighting this, I guess. But yeah, thank you for supporting us. Check us out, follow us, check out our YouTube, see some of the work we've been doing in the community, check out some of the interviews and some of the cool stuff we've been doing over the past year to impact communities. Always great information there. Also, our educational Thursdays are every Thursday. We switched the time to 7 o'clock. I know a couple people emailed me today. Yes, we're going to make our educational Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, just so that we can have more staff support and things for that nature. I know some of our people on the East Coast were concerned because that's kind of late for our East Coast supporters and folks who like to do presentations with us. But we got to make a balance. So 7 o'clock. It's still early enough. If you committed to what you're teaching and preaching, don't worry about it. You'll get blessed, okay? Stay up just an hour late, okay? But we're going to have that show. We're going to give you an announcement probably the next day if we're going to have somebody for that show because unfortunately the guest that was booked did have to cancel. So we're trying to reschedule this with somebody, but we'll keep you updated after that. Also, our Sunday conversation this Sunday, we're talking about cosmetic surgery. There's been botched surgeries. There's been things that's been happening. There's an obsession with these surgeries, and the community want to have a conversation about it. So for all of the folks that want to be a part of this conversation, for all of the folks who have issues with people doing all of this body work and things of that nature, come be a panelist. Let's hear your perspective. Let's see what you talk about. Maybe you just had some work done and you want to highlight how it's helped you or whatever. We're going to have a great conversation about it. I think it's time to have that conversation because there's so many topics about all of the surgeries and stomach tucks and all the things that's going on. I think it's great to have a conversation. We know there has been people who have suffered medically and what's the long-term effects. So hopefully we'll have a great conversation about this. Hopefully nobody gets offended this Sunday, but we will have the conversation. All right. With that being said, enough of me. Okay. I know y'all heard enough of me. I see y'all in the chats. People texting me, Bishop, shut up. Get to the hidden gems. Okay. We want to hear the hidden gems tonight. All right. So we're going to do that. I'm going to be quiet now. That's all of our community events. Happy 2023 community. We're going to get off to a nice start. All right. We're making change this year. We're impacted. We're doing the things that we say we're doing. And if not, move out the way, as they say. Move. Get out the way. The train is coming. People getting off. But the train is still rolling. The freedom train is here. Okay. With that being said, we're going to bring up our first hidden gem tonight. This lovely lady is doing some amazing work. Miss Emily Bertice, come up here and talk to the people about the work you're doing.
Hi, thanks for having me. I didn't know you were recovering from COVID. You're doing great.
Thank you.
My name's Emily Badix. I work at San Francisco State University, and I'm the interim director of a Institute on Disability, where we try to study and showcase disability and put disability at the center of all the stories that we do to try and really revolutionize social views around how we understand disability. Just kind of the core of it is that we believe the world is better because disabled people are a part of it. And we don't necessarily tell a lot of those stories, and especially, sharing stories of some of the people marginalized inside of disability community. You have a higher likelihood of having a disability if you are a person of color. And some of the few sort of media stories that we see around disability are just sort of white disability stories. So we're also really focused on trying to use our platform to bridge conversations. And so I learned about both sides of the conversation, was super excited to be in community with you all. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, Emily.
I think she has a quick video. You want to show your video now, or you want to do it after?
Sure, I'll share it now. So one of the things that we do, we're just sort of always running different programs to try and think about like how do we shift the conversation. So we have a ton of programs coming up. I can do some plugs for. And one of the things that we do every year is we run a disability film festival called Superfest. It's the longest running disability film festival in the world. It started in the 1970s. It switched organizational homes a few times. We've been running it for the last 10 years. And so I have just like a little film reel to show sort of the types of films that we get to showcase in the festival. It takes place every October in the Bay Area. So we have a screening in San Francisco at the Asian Art Museum and at the Freight and Salvage in Berkeley. We do digital festival now, which is really exciting. The pandemic really pushed us to think about folks who geographically can't be with us in San Francisco and folks who, can't get out of bed or it's not safe to be back in person. And so it's been really exciting to be able to like broaden our reach by embracing the sort of hybrid existence. So I just have a film reel. It's a few years old, but it kind of shows like little teasers for some of the like cool disability stories that are out there that we don't necessarily see. It's getting better. Things are getting a lot better gradually. Just in the 10 years I've run the festival, there's so much more disability content out there. There's like some of the children's movies that come out every year have a lot of cool disability content, but there's still further to go. So let me try and do this right.
Superfest International Disability Film Festival. Award-winning selections from 2014 through 2016. The Interviewer.
A young job applicant is waiting at reception.
Mr. Joe White, is it?
Yeah, that's me.
James Dexter. Would you please come with me for your interview?
Awake. Two blind women, Doreen Black and Anna White, sit on a park bench.
Oh, sorry, Doreen. I forgot to tell you. I'm gay. Does this mean I'm gonna fry in hell?
Well, actually, there's a special place in Jehovah's Paradise for lesbians.
Really?
The Machine Shop.
As they laugh, Doreen leans her head on Anna's shoulder.
Supersonic. A black father, Robert, and his young adult son, Isaac, converse in sign language.
Robert throws the cat back and signs. I told you, the stories are real. He goes back to where he was standing before and signs. Supersonic versus bank robbers. Supersonic versus drug dealers. Isaac stares at him, taking it in. Robert signs. Just another day at work.
Right to be rescued. Footage of flooded New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina.
Everybody definitely has a right to be rescued. Everybody on this earth deserves to be taken care of and to be thought of as a human being. People with disabilities, elderly people, whomever, we all need help in some way, shape, or form. People with disabilities have a couple extra things, but we still need to be rescued. We need to be thought of.
Everything is incredible. Augustine, a wheelchair rider, sits in front of his scrap metal helicopter.
I can explain the function of each part because each part took years of work. From here to here took 20 years. Only the rebar, I bought that at the hardware store, but all the rest has been a product of me finding parts at the trash dumps. I started this in 1958.
Best and most beautiful things. Scenes of Michelle at a Pride event, dancing at a club and talking outside.
I don't let my gender or my age or my disability or any other factor about me that's just a fact. I don't let that dictate any other parts of who I am. I just be me, and I feel like that has made me more happy than any popularity I ever got being someone else.
Presented by the Lighthouse for the Blind and Visually Impaired and the Paul K. Longmore Institute on Disability at San Francisco State.
Wow, that's very powerful stuff right there.
Very, very touching. So I think you're on mute.
Yeah,
There you
I'm
go.
good now. I said, did it sell you? Are you going to come to the festival next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come check that out. I'm always about supporting people with disabilities. I think is something that we really have to bring to the forefront and have real conversations about, and also help change that narrative. You know, one of the questions that I do want to ask you, you know, from your perspective, doing the work, seeing some of the things that have taken place. I mean, especially during COVID, really having those disparities amplified. I talked to you a little bit earlier about some of the things that people were complaining about, access issues and things of that nature. You know, from your perspective, how do you feel we intentionally make sure that our disability folks are represented in the job place, when it comes to planning, when it comes to development, when it comes to engineering, everything? Even we're trying to do our part here to find out better ways to do with, you know, people who have hearing disabilities, you know, really making that a part of our systems in society.
Yeah, I mean, I think just thinking of access as like this really creative process, and having it be part of what community building can look like is just really, you know, the tool. And I think a lot of people, we've been fed a lot of stuff that's like, oh, you know, disabled people are going to sue you if you get this thing wrong. And it's just sort of like this media hype story that's super inaccurate. It's not that there aren't a few of those sort of drive-by lawsuits happening, but by and large, people are fighting really hard, and we're, you know, over 30 years past the Americans with Disabilities Act and still fighting all the time for sort of basic access. So I think a lot of people like are so scared that they're not going to, you know, that they know they're not accessible, and they just don't want to kind of take next steps. Whereas, you know, just start somewhere and like gradually start to do more. And, you know, disabled people, 1 in 4 adults in the US have a disability. So, you know, sometimes not everybody's like saying, I need an accommodation, or like claiming that they're disabled, but it's all sorts of folks are going to benefit from the access offerings we can do if we start to sort of think things like, you know, if you're hosting an event, is there a way that people who don't yet feel comfortable being in a big event can participate? Even, you know, the film clips you just watched, they had something called audio description that's built in for blind and low vision folks. And that was kind of an exciting part for us of running a film festival, is just to kind of like even mess with people's assumptions of like, oh, why would, you know, blind people care about a film festival? Well, of course, like film is really important in our culture. People want to experience like seeing your story on film just like everybody else does. So finding a way to make film accessible to blind and low vision communities, and having it not just be this sort of legal compliance thing, but this creative process. So I think access work is really messy. It's not easy. There's not this myth where you're going to like solve it all and have it be all accessible and everything's perfect and everybody can come and enter. It just gets messy. You know, an example is that when I was first starting to like plan accessible events, somebody told me that they're like, well, we have people who use guide dogs for helping navigate, and we have people who have dog allergies. Like, you're never going to like solve that. Those two people are always going to struggle to be right next to each other. But if you can like do that work of just finding ways to make it so that everybody in your community, no matter what sort of disability they have or accommodations and needs they have, that there's a way for people to participate and get that sense of belonging. It's just a really great opportunity to bring people together, and that can be everybody's work too. It can be a really important like bond in a community when you are able to be a part of like helping make access possible.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
I think the burning question that I have, hi Emily.
Tony.
I think the burning question that I have, because you said something earlier that kind of triggered it. You said people don't know if they have access or they don't want to use the access. Can we talk about a little bit about all the different types of disabilities? Because I think sometimes some people are not aware of all the different types of disabilities. Sometimes people can look disabled and they're disabled, but some people cannot look disabled, but they're disabled. So can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think, you know, the images that we see of disability and some of the leaders of the disability rights movement that we most saw were sort of like white disabled leaders, because there's a one type of disability that people are like more comfortable being like, I'm disabled and claiming that. But disability is so much broader than that. So, I mean, it includes things like chronic illness and mental health disabilities and trauma and depression and social anxiety. And, you know, disabilities are increasing by the day too, as people are having long COVID or all kinds of mental health issues that came out of those years of isolation. So diabetes, I mean, disability is really broad, and that makes it kind of hard. That's a real challenge to like the organizing, because so many people are sort of like, well, I can't identify as disabled. I know somebody else who's much more disabled than me. Like, is that really my place? And disability community has been kind of about saying like, you know, that's not really productive if everybody's sort of saying, well, so-and-so is more disabled, so you don't get to count. Instead, it's about like people coming together who have a shared experience of oppression, of like existing in a society that's putting non-disabled bodies and neurotypical minds above disabled bodies and neurodiverse minds. And so, you know, disability is really broad, but that's also really, you know, powerful and exciting, because it means all different types of people can come together to sort of relate to like the barriers that we create and the sort of attitudes we have about how independent we're supposed to be and how like productive and all of that stuff. You know, we can really push all of that aside and imagine different ways for bodies to exist.
But if somebody's coming to school and they are, let's say they're dyslexic, they have their dyslexia or something like that. You know, a lot of people don't know about the certain programs that y'all offer because it's not posted nowhere. Ain't nobody talking about it. Ain't nobody giving you extra resources because you do have a disability. And a lot of times people have found out later on that they could have more time for tests and, you know, certain little knickknacks for being disabled. Like, how do people, where's this information located? How do you know if you qualify for it? And how do you know if what you have is considered to go under that program?
Yeah. I mean, so if you're part of a university, you know, any university has a disability service office, or they at least have a disability service professional whose job it is to help support people. But, you know, there's a real like bias on who gets a diagnosis. Like, it's expensive. You have to like have medical care. You have to have a doctor who trusts you and listens to what you say. And, you know, so there's a very clear bias for like who's getting those accommodations and who is just sort of going under the radar. So that's something that we work on at San Francisco State University to like really help, you know, students who would benefit from knowing that they have an accommodation to like get access to that. In San Francisco Unified School District, there's a lot of resources available to support students. And again, you know, we see white students getting diagnosed and getting those accommodations and services kicking in at higher rates. So, you know, if you think that your might benefit from some extra support and services, your parents really have to advocate, or if you're a college kid, like you have to be your own advocate to really fight to get access to the accommodations to kick in. And, you know, at my university, I do a lot of work and and my institute does a lot of work trying to teach professors to think that like you can just kind of build your teaching to plan as if all the students need accommodations. So, you know, if a student comes to me and they don't have the documentation, I'm like, it's cool. Tell me what you need. Like, let's figure this out. Because of that bias of like who's getting access to count as disabled.
So I got a couple questions. You know, this is both sides of the conversation, but one thing that you just said, it triggered my ears. Okay. When you said we have to have a doctor that trusts you. This is my issue and my concern, as you have spoke a number of times about the disparities in Black communities. So there's already a disconnect between the Black community and our health system. So when you put that kind of trust in the hands of people that have demonstrated the lack of compassion and empathy for people in our community, how do you get that support if you're saying I have this need, but it's up to this doctor who has to trust you that what you're saying is your disability to get access? That's an equity injustice that we have to fix, because that's part of the problem, right? I see it in all different forms of medical fields when the people are talking about dealing with Black and brown patients when it comes to pain management. We see it in our sickle cell community, right? People are dealing with excruciating pain during this process.
Mhm.
But when Black and brown patients come in here, they get labeled as drug users, right? So
Mhm.
now people who need that support, same thing with maternity. So when we talking about intentionally figuring these things out, and I'm glad that you're a part of this, university, and the work you do is really having that conversation, because everything you've been showing to me is, I'm like, how do we get to the narrative shift, right? Because I love the videos, I love all of that, what's going on. But when do we have the real gut-wrenching conversation about teaching people in videos the effects of the negative behavior, or the unawareness, or the uneducated, or the misunderstanding, as Tony asked? How do we fix that? Because real change don't happen until we identify that, right? When we have people walking in buildings, pressing handicap door openers, not knowing that some of those are battery powered, and the multiple people that's touching them that doesn't need to use it, but somebody in a wheelchair need it, the door won't open. When we talk about access to reps, but again, I mean, it's a bigger fight. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff to cover, but I wanted to have that conversation because I think that's the important part. But I also appreciate you being here, because this is also part of highlighting some of the things that we need to fix in our community. We need to bring awareness. We do need to have more educational segments about how to give people access. When you say advocate for yourself, how do you talk to a person in our community that don't know how to advocate? What are we doing intentionally to make sure that we have people who can advocate for the folks that can't speak up for themselves? So those are like the real solution-based things I like to put out there. But just want to hear I know it's a lot, but I wanted to hear, about the videos.
Yeah.
How do you make intentional videos to educate people about the things we do day to day that also causes harm to our people with disability?
Yeah, you said so much. I mean, the link with the doctor, that's so crucial to like why there needs to be solidarity of disability movement and racial justice movement. I mean, because it's the same thing with like at the university, it's you're or in any employer, you have the right to a reasonable accommodation. And even just like that language, it's like, well, who's used to being treated as like, oh, everything I say is taken as reasonable, and who is constantly doubted? Like that's another place where you kind of have the bias pop up of who's going to get access to these things. So that's part of why, originally we had the disability rights movement, and then about 18 years ago, there was a push for a disability justice movement. And that really shifted the conversation. And that was led by disabled BIPOC folks and queer and trans folks who were saying like, all of your, the Americans with Disabilities Act, all of that victory is all based on the idea of a legal framework. And like, if we don't trust that the law is on our side, that didn't do that much. That didn't make the gains we need to make. So, there's so much work to do. How do you change perspectives? I mean, that's part of why we do things like we run a film festival. I do school assemblies. I just did one at my kids' elementary school, Lakeshore Elementary yesterday, to just try to reach kids really young. Are you from Lakeshore? Did you go to Lakeshore?
Yes, I went to Lakeshore. My daughter went to Lakeshore. Shout out to Lakeshore.
That's awesome. My husband went to Lakeshore when he was a kid too. But we did, trying to go in and reach kids when they're really young and show them all different kinds of disability images and like just talk about disability. Because I think a lot of people get really stuck when we, it's not, I'm going to say the wrong thing and get really afraid to talk about it. But then, similarly, like we go and we've done med school trainings to try and like reach some of the doctors and have them understand like what that's like if somebody's coming at you for a diagnosis, and, that you're the expert on the medical field and they're also the expert at their own body and like what they're experiencing and what it feels like. And those two expertises need to be held together, not just sort of the doctor's holds above all. So, yeah, I mean, that's just we do a lot of programming that's like public education, trying to just change our perspectives about disability. And I think film really works well because it's not, you kind of, attach yourself to characters and it's not as threatening as like somebody's going to come and give you a lecture. So that's part of our strategy there. But we also do a lot of events that are meant more internal to disability community of like, what are some of the things that people aren't talking about and how do we push that conversation? So, I'm going to use that to plug some of the stuff we got coming up. We've got an event on February 1st with Cole Riley, who's an author and poet of a book called This Here Flesh, Spiritual Liberation and the Stories That Make Us. We've got an event on February 2nd about disability justice and eating disorder treatment. We've got an event on March 8th with a speaker named Talila Lewis, who does work at the intersection of ableism and incarceration. We've got an event on March 30th that is about trying to create a queer crip sex archive and like some of the stories that we don't get to hear when it is a sort of non-normative sex archive, trying to flesh out the archive and create more storytelling. So that's just like what we have going on in the next month and a half. But that gives you a taste of the stuff we do, which is not just sort of like public education trying to teach people who don't know about disability, think about disability, but also like how do we connect with people inside disability community to have conversations that people really want to have that are not just sort of the same, let's accept disabled people, but like something that pushes and interests disabled people of what folks want to talk about.
Definitely. I mean, Emily, we definitely going to connect with you. We are definitely going to have some of those disability conversations. We had them before. Definitely, we would like to get, some of the folks who are involved in the movement to hear some of the complaints, some of the issues, because I think it is so many changes in policy, so many movements happening, but we need people to refocus and listen to the voices of the people, and that's what we do here at both sides of the conversation. We listen to the voices of the people. When we talk about changing the narrative, it's coming from the voices of the people. So I would love to connect with you and have some more conversations and bring some of those phenomenal folks on and talk to some of our people in the community that's continually impacted with their disabilities and some of the things that they're always dealing with, because I think that's important. And then finally, I want to say we have to figure out, and maybe you can help me with this because I'm trying to figure this out. How do we have these uncomfortable conversations? Because here at both sides of the conversation, we have a lot of them. But when you talk about people don't want to say the wrong thing to people with disability, we hear this in our LGBTQ community. We hear this in the Black community. We hear it in the Jewish community. We hear it in all the communities. Everybody's having these issues of how to communicate. How do we find a way to have these conversations with these different communities where it's not so disrespectful, it's not so over the top, but we need to have these conversations with these people in the community? Because if we keep saying, I don't want to say this because it's going to offend, I don't even like that. Let's just have a conversation. My perspective is mine. There's no disrespect. But how do we get people to listen?
Yeah.
Because we can't move equity forward if everybody's just like, well, I want to say this, but if I say this, they're going to think this way about me. Are they going to feel this way? That's not, it's not helping.
Yeah.
So in 2023, if you can help me, if you think about it, if it comes to you, so I'm trying to figure out. I want to have conversations with people. I don't want them offended. I just want to be able to, let's have both sides of the conversation. All right. You can have your perspective and we can agree to disagree. But I think the only way we fix this problem in our community is we have to stop being so touchy about how people are going to feel, because no one's going to open up. I want people to open up in 23. Have a conversation, even if it's difficult. Let's just talk about it without arguing and fighting. Let's just have a real conversation. You think you can help me with that, Emily?
I mean, absolutely. I think when it comes to disability, it's like, if you're worried you're not going to know the right term or the right thing, it's just, there's no excuse. Like, we've got the internet and there's all kinds of disabled experts who are going to tell you what you think, what they think. And so, look it up, like, diversify social media and who you're following, and like find some disabled thought leaders to follow, people like Alice Wong and Leah Lakshmi Pepsina Samarasina. There's just all these amazing people who are doing really important work that can just totally make you start to like push yourself on what you're not doing. And then, people in the disability community need to be like watching both sides of the conversation and things like that. So all about it. It's hard. I'm with you.
Emily, I just had to say that again. I mean, we're not going to have all the answers, but I mean, because when you say that, I'm like, I agree with you, but it's like, we have people who don't even, they not in tune with it. They don't want to be connected. So, or maybe they don't have the drive or motivation to go learn this, because I've heard people say that too when it comes to other folks in other communities, but you guys should know the pronoun, you should know this. I mean, some people, that's not their focus. So how do we make it where it's comfortable and everybody gets an opportunity to learn, right? And then this is why I tell these people that I talk to about this. Why take offense when you have the time to touch somebody's life, educate them there. That's what we do here. If you don't know, let me tell you, I have all kind of people coming here. Some people, oh, I'm nervous. I don't want to come here. I'm not Black. Hold on. Why you feel like that? We human beings. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to have a real conversation with people and just say, hey, we're human beings. Maybe I don't know. I wasn't trying to offend you, but teach me. That's what we have to do as a community in 23. Educate me. Maybe I didn't know what you know. Let me know so that I don't make you feel uncomfortable, so I don't disrespect you. But if we're not going to do that and we're going to walk around like everybody should know what I am, what I identify, what my disability, whatever it is, it's insane. It's unreasonable. When someone don't know, it's like children. We correct them. If a child doesn't know something, you say, hey, this is not the proper way to do this, or this is not the proper way to do it, and we explain why. We have to get out of the demanding demeanor of you're going to learn and you're supposed to know. Let's change that attitude, because if we really want to bring communities to these conversations and make these things important, it's all about approach. And I think in 2023 as a community, let's find a better approach. And when people don't understand or people don't do things that we don't like, let's educate them. Hey, I didn't like how you said that to me. I'm not taking an offense. Maybe you don't know, but I'm letting you know. It's all about education. So I think in 2023, as community members, as you continue to do this work, let's have the approach conversation instead of, the other conversation. How can I educate you? Maybe you said something that you didn't mean, you didn't know. Instead of me penalizing you, let me just have a quick session with you and let me educate you. We got Kitty sessions coming up. This session thing is in my head. But again, that's what we have to do. That's what I would like to see. I think that human contact of correcting each other when things go wrong could be a little bit more better. We do it with our children. We still have to do it as adults. Let's correct each other. Let's first connect before we correct. That's my big saying here. You know what I mean? Let's connect before we correct. Don't just come here, yelling at people, telling them this. Let's first connect and have that bonding moment and say, hey, what you said could be offensive to this, or this could affect people in this way, or it affected me, and this is why, and educate them so that they can be a better person. Let's make everybody better in 2020.
And I think that's why I'm really happy that you're here, Emily, because this whole film theater thing that you're doing around disability, I think is very awesome. For someone like me, I'm a theater major, I'm an actor, so I love to see the art in different angles, and it tells a story, so a lot of times with humans, with us, we need a visual, like he's saying, like we don't know the terms and things like that. I think what you guys having this showing film and things like that around disability, I think that would help community very much. And do you mind talking about how this got started? Like, whose idea was this? It was a brilliant idea, first of all.
The film festival started so long ago. I know
the film festival. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the Longmore Institute? The Longmore Institute started in 1996 by a man named Paul Longmore, who is a history professor at SF State. And he has a really cool story. He is just one of those like professors and academics who just was really beautifully both scholar and activist, and like always on the ground. So he published a book about George Washington. It was his first book. He'd encountered a ton of people telling him, like, you're never going to make it in academia with your disability, just drop out. And when he published his book, the Social Security office told him he was going to lose his benefits that he needed for paying for personal care assistance to like get out of bed in the morning and be able to eat and do daily living because of the book. And anybody who knows about academic publishing, you make so little money. Like it's like $500 a year if you have a successful book, which Paul did. And they were going to take away his benefits, which cost, thousands and thousands of dollars. And so he had a George Weber grill and went in front of the Social Security building and lit his book on fire in this really public protest to sort of say, like, this is what you're telling me. Like, I'm being penalized for my success. Disabled people don't have opportunities to thrive without sort of already, one step forward, two steps backward. So anyways, when he was a professor at SF State, he just did a really incredible job, like on our campus, often using his large motorized wheelchair. He was a polio survivor, to kind of block administrators in their office and be like, I'm going to talk to you about how you need to understand like disability. SF State's really proud of having a social justice mission. And he really wanted to make sure that disability was part of those conversations. So he started the Institute on Disability, and it was sort of a one-man show. He would do things whenever he had a chance or got some funding, and did things really that were tied to the field of disability studies. And then he passed away in 2010, and it was really unexpected and sudden. And there was just a lot of passion across campus to do something to kind of elevate his dream to the next level. So I got on board in 2012 with the then director, Kathy Kudlick, and we were there for the last 10 years, just doing work that kind of broadened our reach. So we went a lot bigger. And oddly, in the pandemic, we really grew more than ever because disabled people had been doing virtual organizing for years because of like folks who can't get out of bed. And so there was this expertise of like how to do online programming that we kind of jumped in right away to show off what we could do, because it was a moment where there was just so much like hurtful rhetoric circulating around disability and like who was going to be ventilator worthy, and just sort of this moment of like, oh, it's fine. We don't have to worry about the pandemic. It's only affecting medically vulnerable people. So there was just so much negative discourse happening that we were really mobilized to do some programming that really celebrates disability. And so many of these films really celebrate disability. So we started doing more programs like that, and really became less Bay Area focused and now pretty internationally focused. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. I've been there for 10 years and been really lucky to be doing this work.
Wow, phenomenal stuff. Well, Emily, we want to say thank you again for your tremendous efforts and your work, your stewardship, walking with the people. This segment is about highlighting, giving you your flowers. One thing, we started this segment because too many times folks do this amazing work and nobody hears about it, and then they pass off. And then we hear all these great stories in their obituary about all the amazing things they did. So we said, hey, we want to highlight the people here. We want to give them their flowers here and let them know we appreciate you and thank you, for your fight, the work you're doing, and all the stuff you're doing over there at Gatorland, making it continue to be exceptional campus. We're looking forward to working with you in the future and definitely having some more conversations to continue to educate our community. But it was great to have you here, the film work, and definitely make sure you send us a digital flyer when y'all do the next festival.
Cool.
So both sides of the conversation could be a part of it. Me and Pretty Tony, we come support, okay?
Okay. This time we connected. Next time you get to correct me, we're gonna we got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun to chat with you guys.
No problem. Thank you very much, Emily, and continue to do the work. All right, community, there you go. Phenomenal conversation. Disability is very important, and we want to continue to uplift all of the concerns of our community. That's what we're going to continue to do in 2023. When we talk about changing the narrative, we're going to uplift and highlight the things that's going on in our community, both sides of the conversation. Y'all know what we do. We like to assess, okay, criticize and mobilize our community, and that's what we're going to do. Continue to assess these issues and things that impact our community. And we're going to make sure we criticize them when they're not right, when they're wrong, and make sure that we mobilize our community to get the corrective change that we need. So we're excited about that. Shout out to all of our folks who continue to fight for folks with disabilities, and shout out to all of our folks out there that continue to push for their needs and their things. There's a number of folks that are part of our group, and just want to shout them out for always uplifting and supporting disability folks movement. So we just appreciate you all. With that being said, our last hidden gem is here tonight. This brother is coming up here. He's an author. He's a businessman. Sisters, y'all always talking about where's the black men at that are doing amazing things. We got a phenomenal gem finna come up. Kenny Sessions. Let me tell y'all ladies right now. You sound like Barry White. You got a deep voice. I don't know. You'll maybe come up here and sing. So I don't know. Brother Kenny Sessions, welcome to both sides of the conversation, King. Holla at the people. You got to unmute yourself. Look, King didn't want y'all to hear the voice. He didn't even unmute.
You playing today. You playing. First of all, I just want to say good evening, man, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Off top. Kenny, go ahead and tell
Dang, he do kind of sound like Barry White now. Hold on. Are you
I've heard that a couple times.
Man, but brother Kitty, you know, you're doing some phenomenal stuff. Go ahead and tell the community a little bit about you, what you're doing, and me and Pretty Tony will ask you some questions. But I know you got some videos, so go ahead, brother. Take over. It's your time, brother.
Well, thanks, man. Well, let me let you guys know I'm Kenny Session. I'm a licensed real estate broker in Oakland. This is my 36th year in the business. And I've been 27 years. I've owned Session Real Estate. So we didn't just get started. This ain't our first rodeo. What I do is I help, my claim to fame is helping folks that look like us get into houses. That's what I've been doing for 35 years. You know, I enjoy it beyond what you could imagine. It's one of those jobs I would do for free if they didn't pay me so well. But it is absolutely a pleasure to help folks, man. And one of the things that we've been doing the last few years is doing a lot of no money down deals. Now, I know people here, they see those stories on TV in the middle of the night, how to buy a house with no money. Well, I'm the author of that book. You know, I've helped hundreds of people buy houses that had no money. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. You mind if right now I'll just show you 2 videos that'll show you a little something about that? Because we got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Brother, you do whatever you want to do. This is your time,
right.
Kitty. You
Well,
just
let me go ahead.
Very
Let me go ahead what I want to do is I'm going to show you guys 2 very short videos, and both of these videos are from the same family. One of them is Jason Peterson. He came to me as a referral from somebody. I can't even remember where, but he came from another guy I helped get in the house. They live down in West Oakland and the housing down there. And he came to me. We got him into this house, and he's been living with his mother for many, many years. But I want to show you this video of them celebrating. So give me just a second. Let me get that up for you. Share my screen.
While you get it up, Kitty, I don't know if you know about Rhea Cotton. I know you do. Y'all all in the same.
Yeah.
I just want to know why you pulling it up, you know, because we coming out of Kwanzaa season. I keep telling people we celebrating Kwanzaa all year. But how do we get our Black businesses to work together and build, you know, because there's enough of us, and like, how do we come together and really bring generational wealth to our community? That's what I want to ask you later. But I just want to throw that out. Shout out to Rhea Cotton, to all of our phenomenal, Bobby King, a lot of the phenomenal real estate folks that I know. You know, but again, I would like to see us unify as community. And how do we become the next?
We actually do, and we'll talk about that a little bit. We've got some things that have been going on for years and years and years that maybe people don't even know about.
That's right. We're here to educate the people tonight. All right, I'm gonna put your video up, brother.
All right, go right ahead. Here I come. Praise God.
We bought this house in Session Real Estate. Everything was smooth. Thanks, glory be to God. And we're just happy he is the real deal. He made it happen for me and my family, and we're so excited. We're so excited that God blessed us with this. And we just happy, and I got my keys. Got my keys. We just thank you, and he made it happen.
God provides, so why do I worry about my life? When you come to my rescue 1,000 times.
All right, and then let's go. We're going to show you his sister and her son now. Same family.
Everybody, I'm Trina. This is my son.
Your message, your story is needed now. Give some bank account. There is a no sticker. And I want to help solve of not knowing how to run your business. I'm a retired major, combat veteran. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm also a general to giants. Look, if you didn't know, speaking is the #1 profession out there that most women could be.
Hello, everybody. I'm Trina. This is my son, Anton, and we bought this house from Kenny Sessions. No money down, no closing costs. If you want a house, call Kenny. He can help you.
God provides. So why do I worry about my life when you come to my...
Dear God,
You gotta unmute, kid. You gotta unmute.
It was a little rough, but did you guys hear it?
Oh yeah, no, definitely we heard it, man. That's powerful stuff.
Okay,
Powerful
okay,
stuff.
great.
So, man,
Man,
Touch my
that
heart.
right there
Really
is-
touch my heart.
Yeah, that is what I do this for, man. I mean, just handing those keys to people, you can't imagine the joy that is for me to do that over and over and over again, especially people that don't have money. They didn't come to me with a whole bunch of money. He had some credit issues. We have a credit team that fixed their credit for free. And then I have some great lending partners who just really go way out for the work that we do in the community. And man, I like I said, I would do that for free if they didn't pay me so well. Yeah.
Man,
So what are you doing different than everybody else ain't doing? Because I remember when I had got my approval for my house, let me just say, and you know it's only good for 90 days. And the outbidding situation was very intimidating, very scary. It was already a lot of work to get approved. And then you get approved and then you got 90 days to try to find something. But everybody that got the money is outbidding you. So what's your secret? I know you can't tell all the sauce, but you can give us a little bit of the cherry.
Well, part of it has to do with 35 years in the business. People know that I close deals. If I put it in escrow, I'm going to close it. And I have people I've worked with all over the Bay Area. I mean, in every city that you can imagine. And I'm known for closing deals. So even when someone comes up and they're coming up against a cash offer, I believe that I make the difference in the transaction because I go in with experience, letting them know that I've done my homework. I've got them approved. I don't show people houses without an approval. I don't do any of that. We don't run around. And even when you get the approval, I take people to see houses. I don't send them. Okay. So that's another thing that we do. And then something that's really big is I don't show houses on the weekends. Everybody wants to get off work and everybody wants to wait till the weekend to show property. Well, the best time to buy a house is on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And that's when everybody has came out and the seller sees 25 people come through the house on Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday, they're expecting all these people say that they're going to bring offers. And it looks like they're going to bring an offer. And then they don't bring that offer on Monday. By Monday evening, they didn't get the offer from the buyer on the weekend. So Tuesday morning, I show up with my people and I slap them. Because normally if it's been on the market for any amount of time, the agent is going to be talking to them about reducing the price on Tuesday morning because it didn't sell. And a lot of times the agent is trying to get a better price anyway. And the people don't know until they see, look at all these people came through this house and you didn't get no offer. So I think I know a little bit more than you. Let's drop the price on it. And I think I'll sell it. Well, I walk in the door and say, no, don't drop the price. Give my client $10,000 and we'll buy it. And that's how I do it.
So you saying that it's not impossible to be a homeowner in the Bay Area, California?
Both of those people bought those houses in the pandemic. Okay, so I sold, I think 30 or 40 families I helped buy houses in the pandemic. I hate to say this, but I never was quarantined one day. In fact, I took that as my leave to let me get out here and help people. And because of all the clients I do have, we do a lot of social media marketing, which I've learned to do. I've paid a lot of money to learn how to manipulate the algorithms to get to people that I need. And we run these no money down ads. And man, we get 1,000 people come out of that. And we get 20 or 30 of them and get them qualified. And then we just go at it. Okay. So it's not anything special. It's other than just getting the people in. And then once you get somebody like this, they tell the story. Because you see, I helped a brother get in the house. You saw his mother there praising the Lord. And then I got his sister in the house the next week. And then after that, there's another gentleman I got in the house that was his partner. They all went to Mac together. And then it just keeps bubbling, you know, and that's
so Kenny, why you care so much? Why you not after the paycheck like everybody else? Why is your heart so pure that you want to help people like this? Because I heard you say it twice. If you If you'll do it if you didn't, even if you wasn't getting paid for it. So what makes your heart so big where you want to help people like this?
Well, I've been blessed. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and I came to serve. I know Jesus was a servant. He served people. He didn't come to take advantage of people. It wasn't about money with people. It's just about serving. And when you come in as a servant, you always, I think I get paid fairly well just by coming in as a servant. And why do I do it? Because I see that there's so many people that get erroneous information. You get people that don't want to help you buy houses because it's a low amount. And people look like you and I are in the economic background that we have, they need someone to fight for them. And a lot of these agents, they want to pick those buyers with 10 and 20% down to get the house. Now I could do that. I don't have to do no work to get that. But somebody who comes to me that has a job, they've been on their job for 2 years, they've got some credit, even if it's bad credit. We know I got people that can help them with their credit. And so I just love people. Can I just say that? I love helping people, and I love helping people in ways that maybe other people can't.
Now, Kenny, I was going to say, I think you helped all of these 30 people because you were singing that song Barry White was singing.
See,
you keep telling me this and telling me that. I'm gonna get you in this house though. I think that's what it was. Kenny was R&B in it. But no, on a serious note, Kenny, it's great to hear your passion and your commitment to the people. I know that there's processes and things that has to happen. And I'm glad that you're here to talk about it because I have a lot of these questions because there's a lot of homeownership programs across the Bay Area that they claim are equity. I also want to be honest about, people who may get into these opportunities but don't understand all of the documents that they're signing about, when you're going through programs, paying back interest rates and things of that. Can you tell me what is Kenny Sessions doing in your brokerage to help educate our people? Because it might not be no money down, but it's a higher interest payment. You know what I mean? On the house end. That's not your problem, but that's right. I got you in for nothing, right? But sometimes our people don't understand that. So what are you doing as a broker to make sure that you are educating our community when they're doing it? Because it's one thing like, yeah, you got me in the house, bro. You hooked me up, no money down, but I didn't know that I got this higher interest rate, or I got, you know what I'm saying, my, this added bill that I didn't know, and it's costing me a lot more money a month, right? So it's just some of those things. I like to always ask that because I think there's a number of government programs, and I don't really agree with a lot of them. So I'm just trying to find out because I would like people to come see Kenny instead of going to one of these knocker programs or whatever. No, not on all of them, but I've been through these programs, and one of the things I don't like, and I keep telling people, it takes too long for a Black person or brown person who might be right there to buy a house. Now I got to go through a 2-year program and try to buy a house, and it's not really, you get what I'm saying? How do we bring?
I know exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. If you're down, no down payment is the answer, because I got people who are paying rent, been working on a job. They like, John, I can't come up with the down payment, right? And then they go through these programs who promise them they're going to pay this, or these different government programs, and they got to pay twice the selling costs and all this equity they got to give up to get, you know what I mean? It's a mess. So how do we get them through the Kenny process, and how do y'all educate our people? Because we know we have to be honest when we're dealing with our people. Some of them are so excited they're not reading the fine print. So what is Kenny doing to make sure that these people understand the total impact of their purchase?
Well, first of all, I handpick the lenders that we use. I don't let clients come to me and tell me who I'm going to use unless they insist. If you insist to bring your cousin's lender to help you buy a house over, then you bring him on over here and I'll snap him into shape. But I handpick the lenders that I work. I work with people that I've been working with for years and years and years, and they have the same passion that I do. They're not overcharging people. I don't have to go and look at a closing statement from the guys I use because they're going to be cutting fees to make the deals fit. And they do it over and over and over again. So, and then the second part of that is, if you guys didn't know, I used to host, I don't do it anymore. I used to host the In Session Real Estate TV show. I'm not sure if you guys remember me from Soul Beat. I was on Soul Beat for 7 years live doing TV with Chuck Johnson. And that was a very beautiful thing where I could come on. And back then, you remember when Soul Beat was popping, the Black community here was humongous. So We did a lot of deals. We helped a lot of families, and not just on the sales side, but I mean on the buy side. But I helped grandmothers save their houses. I helped grandmothers who are sitting in their house that don't have no food, but they got equity in their property. I help people save houses when they're behind on payments. So it's a whole lot more to it than just buying a house, because once you get into it, you need someone to confer with to help you keep it. They're not as hard to keep. And I can tell you, why do I do that? Because I've lost several houses. And I asked God, why would you let me lose houses? He said, because I want you to know how it feels. I said, I wish I could slap you, God, but you know what? I'm going to take it and keep on going. You know what I mean? So I know what it is to have to lose a house in spite of, you know, me helping everybody else. It seemed like God wouldn't let me help myself. I had to go through that pain, and pain makes you grow. Yeah.
Man, say that again. You've been dropping gems off now. I love that, because pain do make you grow. When you go through stuff, you grow through stuff. And you know what I mean? Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's places, sometimes it's things. But again, we only become better leaders. We only become better owners. We only become better folks by going through the pain. And I like how you put that, because I think Black folks, we always think everything good is supposed to happen to us. Everything's supposed to be right in a line. We pray for it. Everything good happen. No. Sometimes you go through the mud. Sometimes you go through the storm like we're going through now, so that we can get to the other side for the blessing. So, you know, definitely just appreciate that. But yeah, you've been dropping gems all night. You know, one of the other things, you know, and we talked about it a little bit when we were setting up the video, is, you know, so many realtors now into the realtor markets now. All
Can I
over
stop
America.
you right there before you go any further? You just said something that I don't agree with.
What was that?
I am not a realtor. Okay, that is a term that that people use, that they think that everybody is a realtor. But if I can tell you, the realtor organization is the oldest real estate trade organization. But there was a time when Black people could not join the Oakland Board of Realtors. Not only that, when I worked for Century 21, because of their corporation, they used the realtor sign. They make people pay. You have to pay to use the realtor sign. I am not a realtor. I am a realtist. The difference of that, and this is the gem, that's the Black organization. It was started in 1947. It's called NAREB, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. That is the Black equal to the realtors. And I have served as the president in Oakland of that organization. I've also served on the California level in that organization. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted that to make a serious point, that there are people in organizations that's advocating for us all across this country, and people just don't know about it, because what they've done is they've interchanged that word with realtor with real estate agents. No, not all of it. A lot of them are, and some of them are both. But I choose to just be on the realtist side, on the Black side, if you will.
And I accept that, King. I love that. Correct me. But I was trying to pull it out of you. You come on here talking about people. You don't tell them who you are and what you're doing. I got to pull it out of you. Come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got
I was trying to make that distinction. I'm glad that you explained that. And again, this is why we put you here, man. I want to put some respect on your name. I don't want you to come in here. I'm just a broker guy making miracles. Gotta let the people know. Well, we didn't started from the cloth and getting that information. And shout out to Chuck Johnson. He's been one of our hidden gems. And, you know, I was a young buck, so I missed a lot of the soul beat, but he brought us up and educated us about some of the work, some of the things that they're doing now. So I want to make sure my Oakland folks know I represent my people in the town. Shout out Chuck G.
Yes, sir. He put me on the map, man. I can tell you, nobody knew me before Chuck Johnson. There's a funny story about that. I used to own a hair salon, or my ex-wife, we owned a hair salon, and we used to, and I think I was driving taxi cab in Oakland and working on my real estate license and going to school. And my ex-wife owned a hair salon. And I told her, man, we need to get on that soul beat. We need to run a commercial. She said, no, we ain't running no. Look, that's Negro TV. I said, lady, you done lost your mind. Negro TV works. So we got divorced, okay? And probably within, I'm going to say 60 days of us getting divorced, I was on the golf course playing golf, and I had an assistant that I told him to call Chuck Johnson to see about getting some advertising, you know, just run some ads on the station, because, you know, you got to be where your people are. And Chuck offered me a 1 hour cut real estate TV show on Soul Beat for the less than I was going to pay for the commercials.
Hey, did you say that was your,
and my first day?
Hey, Kitty, did you say that was your ex-wife?
Yeah,
Yeah, she
my
tripping,
ex-wife.
man. What's wrong with Negro TV, man? Both sides of the conversation is Negro TV. Y'all
She
don't like
didn't know.
what Negroes be doing now.
She don't know because see, black folks watch black TV. And we go to that back when Soul Beat was on. That was one of the first video stations before MTV and all that stuff. It was Chuck Johnson. And what they were playing on MTV, we didn't want to watch it. So we were going over in Oakland. You go over to Soul Beat and you know about everything going on in the town because they had everybody on there. At Sweet Jimmy's, you can go figure out what's going on at Sweet Jimmy's, or you can find out how to buy a house. And that was Chuck. Chuck, man, I give him the most honor, man. He put me on the map.
Most definitely. Shout out to Chuck. You know, again, you know what I'm saying? But this is the power of black media. And, you know, this is why both sides of the conversation, what you're doing is so important. And I tell people, I'm not in competition with you. You want to do a podcast, whatever you want to do, just make sure you educating our people, you blessing our people. You get what I'm saying? We don't got time we don't have time to be in competition. Our people is behind. Our people is moving forward. They marching to the beat. But we just got to make sure we do our part. Black marketing is very powerful. Black dollars are very powerful. Black podcasting is very powerful. Black folks got to remember our power. We are very powerful influencers. And until we come together and grab a hold of our power and elite and uplift each other, you get what I'm saying? And there's no stopping.
I live that every day, man. I've been marketing myself on TV and everywhere, you know, for the last 35 years, you know, because it's not who you know, it's who know you or know what you do. And if you're scared to let people know what you do, you'll go broke. Okay. And then there's gifts that we have that we don't share with our community because they don't want to be on TV. They don't want the camera. I don't know what's wrong with people in cameras. They don't want to turn the camera on. It's like, wait a minute, we know what you look like already anyway. So why you don't just turn the camera on? Or you just didn't like the way you looked in the mirror this morning. So you don't want nobody else to see you that may think you're the most beautiful thing. And the people just scared of cameras. I don't get it. Black folks. Well, not black folks, everybody.
It came from the culture of the community, the no snitching and all the other stuff. But we do use social media to highlight the negative stuff. So that's what we try to do here at both sides of the conversation. Change the narrative. When you turn on, you see some black folks doing some positive stuff. Sometimes we get a little wild and crazy. The bishop go a little crazy sometimes. But again, you know, we all about having fun. We're trying to uplift our community. We're trying to work together. Again, you know, and you said some powerful stuff. And I've been saying is we had our young people on this past Sunday talking about their New Year's goals and resolutions. And I'm agreeing with you. Black folks in 2023, let's work together. Let's live the principles of Kwanzaa every day. Let's start supporting each other. Let's spend our black dollars together. Let's learn how to have a conversation together without always having the result of violence. Let's learn how to break up and still be cool. Let's learn how to do a number of these things without, you know, we got to change, right? And it's like, I had some conversations with some of the elders of the community, and it's like, right now, what's going on in our community is we got village issues. We got to stop blaming everybody else. Black folks in 2023, we got to take accountability. We got to have the conversations. We got to start educating our young people. We got to start connecting with our young people. We got to start being parents again, talking to our young people. Now, I ain't talking about being friends with your kids. I'm talking about parents, laying boundaries down, letting our kids know, like, this is not cool. You can't be out here hanging on the corner. You can't be robbing elders in the community. Like, we got to start having some real conversations. We'll be a part of it. We'll help facilitate it here at both sides of the conversation, and we'll continue to do our part. We'll walk on the side of you, Kenny. That's why you hear all of our community. If you ain't got all of the money, call the broker, Kenny. All right, let's go. No money down. He's going to get you in there. You want to get blessed? He said he's coming to bless you. Reach out to the session, y'all. His information is up there on the screen. Tony, you got anything else you want to ask the sessions?
Can I throw something else in there real quick before you go on? One thing that just because I'm short-minded, and that is that just like what you guys are doing, we have to show people that there are people out here that are doing things, and we're some intelligent people. And if we don't show people now, what I do, I want, not that I'm anything, but I want to tell you about my kids. My son just graduated in 2020 from San Francisco State University. I heard the lady talking about that. The first man in my family to ever graduate from college. My daughter, she's running a company right now. She started a company called Session Custom Creations. She does subliminal printing and she does stuff. She's been making money on these funerals and funeral programs and, you know, funeral shirts and gloves and hats and all that. And I won't say that I took any, but they walked about me and their mother because their mother owned a hair salon, which was called Hair Sessions back in the day. Before I even got in the business, we owned Hair Sessions. And so now my daughter has Session Custom Creations. I have Session Real Estate, and my new venture is Session Construction, Land Development, Session Land Development, LLC. We started that last year because my new goal, some of y'all better catch me quick before I kind of get on my retirement. But my retirement is going to be building true affordable housing. That's my next venture. We've bought some land that we're working on right now, getting our entitlements on it. We're also looking for people that can help us finance these projects because, you know, it ain't easy for me to walk into the bank and say, oh, I need 12 million. When we've got a $12 million project that's worth almost 27 million on the books based on the income stream, but all I need is $12.5 million to build it. We're talking about percent loan to value on the project, and we're looking for the money. Okay, but what I want to do is I'm not building market rate housing because guess what? Everywhere you go, in fact, when I start talking to people, they say, well, man, well, you can make that a little bit, you can make it market rate and make all this money. I say, who gives a damn? Money is nothing to us. If our people out here on the damn street, that's why people on the street like that, because everybody, these developers, they got all this money in the game. And when they bring their money to the table, a lot of them, the development has a lot of errors and they make a lot of room for mistakes. So when they come in, they have to show them how they're going to pay this money back. And instead of using a lower rent, like we'd say $2,000 per unit, they want to use $4,000 per unit. Money off the top of the deal instead of using that 2,000 and you leave the money in the deal so you can get people in that can only afford to pay 2,000 or whatever it is. And people don't know this. And I'm gonna shut up. The Section 8 waiting list, which is a lot of our lower income people use, has 8,000 people on the list in Alameda, waiting list in Alameda County. Where they do that? I said 8,000 people on the Section 8 waiting list. That's where somebody can rent a house for 30% of their income and the government pays the rest. We have people that own buildings in out here that will not allow people to do Section 8 because Section 8 20 years ago was horrible. There was dope spots. There was people shooting and doing all that. But now Section 8 is turned over. And we've got people, little grandmothers. I got about 4 or 5 grandmothers out that got Section 8, don't have nowhere clean to move. So that's why I'm coming to develop. I don't want to develop nothing else but true. And when I say true, I'm talking about that housing that's going to get people that ain't got no money in it.
Wow, very powerful stuff, brother. You know, that's part of the gentrification process that people don't know about. You've been dropping gems all night. Y'all be careful. Keep praying for Kitty because he's dropping gems on us now. But Kitty, somebody put on there, what about your book? Talk about your book. Make sure you don't forget about the Session book, and make sure your daughter on the Hidden Gem Show. Don't you come on here and take all the glory. Let's bring her on here. We know people in our community are taking losses every day. We want to make sure that she's connected so she continue to grow and have sustainability for her Black business.
I definitely will put her together with you. Well, anyway, I just wrote and published my first book. Do I have it here? I got a copy of it. It's a real estate sales book. It's called My Secret Wealth of Information for Any Seller. We have a lot of sellers in our community that look like us that's giving away their properties. We have a lot of people in our community that are leaving money on the table when they're selling their houses. And then we have people that don't understand the sales process. And so I wrote this book with some help, some ghostwriters and stuff. It's all mine, but with some help, we put together how to successfully sell your house for the most money that you can. But we also talk a little bit about preserving that property if you don't want to sell it, some things that you can do to keep your property as well. So that's all in this book. It's a free book. If you guys go to my website or even my Facebook page, we can send you a digital copy, or you can request a hard copy of it. We have some new things we just changed in the book. So we got a new order on book, but I am excited about this, and I dedicated this to my mother. My mother, she passed away in 2014, and man, if she saw this, I would not be able to shut her up at all. She would be talking. She'd be in her sleep talking about this book. So I'm quite excited about this book, and this is my first. I have several others that are in production process, but that's the very first one, and it's to help folks in our community be able to keep a generational wealth.
Man, hey Kitty, make sure you tell me where I can buy the book at. I'll definitely pick up.
I'll send it to you. I don't need no money.
I want to buy a couple copies. Listen, brother, I'm about black reciprocity. Okay, I just told you selling the books. This your first book. I don't want you giving away. Don't be like me. Everything I give away everything. But let me I want to support your black business. I want to buy a few copies. Okay, let's connect after. I'm gonna buy a few copies.
All right,
and I'm gonna bless a few people.
Leave it alone.
We're gonna bless a few people in the community with the book, but you got to tell me this, Kitty. In the book, to sell your property, don't tell me. You said find some white friends to get the sale price up. Don't tell me you put it in the book.
What's that? Say that again.
I said that you put the tip of it in the book. When you go to sell your house, take down all your pays and have one of your white friends sell your house. Don't tell me you put that in the book, Kitty.
I did not put that in there, but we do have a chapter that says that you need to unpersonalize your house to sell it, and then unpersonalize it is taking them pictures off the wall, and and some of us, believe it or not, you'd be surprised how many folks don't wash their dishes and they don't make up their bed before they leave, going to work or whatever they do. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about too, is when you're gonna sell your house, you get up and make up your bed in the morning before you leave. And in fact, actually, you should make up your bed every day, whether it's somebody coming to see it or not. It helps you. It helps me keep my mind clear. My kids now, because I wasn't always like this. Don't get me. I had some depression and anxiety years ago, so I never would clean up nothing. But I didn't got healed, and so I get up and make up my bed every day. I got them robot vacuum cleaners.
I'm gonna stop you, Kitty. Your ex-wife is like, yeah, that's why I left you.
No, that's why I left her. That's where I got it from. I grew up. My grandmother, my mother, they was meticulous. And if they came to my house when I was married, I'd have got kicked out the family. But praise be to God, my ex-wife is doing so much better. In fact, we're friends now. We weren't friends for like 20 years, but just in the last, her birthday was a couple of days ago, and I called and wished her a happy birthday, and we had a great conversation. Just like I told her, for all these years, we friends. But because of my problems with you and your problems with me, we never would just sit down and talk about it. So I pray her and her husband every day.
See that song, and she would have been all right. You didn't want to see that song.
Man, stop.
Hey, Kitty, we got to have fun here at both sides of the conversation, man.
Yes,
it is definitely always business. Definitely the work you're doing is impactful. And definitely we'll get those copies. Community, here's somebody that look like, we talk about making sure that we connect folks with folks who look like us. Definitely reach out. Kitty's website information is up there. Reach out to them and learn some of them tips and jewels. I mean, we have to really start supporting each other, really trusting and building that back in our community so that we can move generational wealth forward. We need our Black ecosystem. Again, I'm going to say it in 2023, Black folks, we got to spend our Black dollars with each other. We got to invest with each other. We got to uplift each other. We got to continue to move, forward as a community, as a culture. We spend too much money not to spend with each other. Trillions of dollars going out from the Black dollars to all these different markets. Let's this year think about how we're going to continue to keep our Black dollars in our community, how we're going to support and uplift each other so that we can continue the generational wealth legacy for our young folks, for the folks coming up behind, so that they don't have to work as hard and they don't have to do some of the things we had to do to be sustainable in our community. And we do want ownership. So support this Black business. And if you're looking to buy or sell, here you go. Kenny Sessions Brokerage. He's the CEO. He's going to educate you, give you the game, lace you up, give you all of the sauce. And he might even give you a couple of tunes from Barry White. All right, Tony, you got anything else for Kenny?
I just say, Kenny, don't retire yet. You got to sell one more house. I need a house over here, okay? We'll talk.
Well, I don't mean retire, because I'm gonna sell the house the last day. But I'm not gonna go out looking for business no more. I'm getting old, man. I'm about ready to I'm retirement age.
You don't have to look for me. I couldn't find you. That's okay.
Don't worry about it. My phones are always on. So, and I'll help anybody. It don't make no difference. I'm never gonna stop. I'm gonna get out of the day-to-day grind of it is what it is. And I'll just work with people that need me. But I'm not gonna, because see, at one point it was about building a company. And if you guys may not know this, but at one time back in the late early 2000s, Session Real Estate was the third largest Black real estate company in the whole state of California. And we were number one in Northern California. And what I want to tell everybody out there is you got to be very careful when you're being successful, because when you stick your neck out there like that, I could show you. I have another video that's queued up right now that shows you when I got sued. And that suit lost everything. I lost every piece of property. I had to close down my company. And this is the year after I made $1.8 million. And I went from 1.8 after that suit to right a little over $1 million. And in the third year, I went down to under 100,000, lost all of my real estate. Remember, I was telling you, why do I have to lose my house? I lost everything I owned. And it was because of me keeping people taking care of my people. And we were the largest bank-owned property company in the city. Okay, there's a video. I'm not going to play the video. I had it queued up, but there's a video of John Russo, the Oakland city attorney, filed a lawsuit against me and 4 of the largest banks in the world. And 3 of those banks were my clients. And when they sued me, I had 300 listings. I had 100 signs flying in Oakland at $15,000 a sign time 100. You do the math. And I went from that to almost homeless, depression, anxiety, almost homeless. Okay, so and I asked God, why did you let me do that? He said, because I don't want you to stop. Because if I let you stay there, you're gonna take a break. You're gonna be ready to go sit in the cut. Because I sure was. Man, if I had the money I was making then, y'all probably wouldn't see me today. But now, you know, the best thing of that is that I'm not old, I'm still young, and I'm still building. I'm still excited about what I'm doing. Whereas like my brother and my uncles and all them, they get 60, 65 years old. They retire and go sit out with the fishing pole. I doubt that I'm ever going to do that. I'm going to be working to the last day. Okay. Because this is not even work. I don't even work. I don't go to work. I get up and do what I love to do every day. So, you know, I wanted to share that too. Just do what you love to do, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. I've never had a job, y'all. I have never got a paycheck stuff from nobody other than the military.
Man, powerful stuff. Hey, Kenny, that's what it's all about. I'm glad you said that. Again, it's these testimonies that really help move our community. Somebody out there needed to hear that. Again, when we talk about changing the narrative, there you go. There you have it. You got Tony already talking about how she want to support. She want to buy her house.
Praise
so
God.
This is what it's all about. It happens. We are moving forward. It takes time, but it's happening one person at a time, one community member at a time. If we continue to support each other, uplift each other, we can make a difference, be a blessing. Again, your testimony is the strength of you and what you've been through. And your story is going to help inspire somebody else. Again, the moral of the story is don't quit.
Never.
The race is never over. You know what I mean?
Never.
Man. Well, before we let you go, Kenny, is there any last words, parting shout outs, anybody you want to do before we get ready to close out tonight?
Let me just show you this last little video. I'm going to show you a little something. I don't even show this. This has been hidden on my webpage for years. People told me don't show it because, you know, one thing I didn't talk about is, you know, I just ran for Oakland City Council in this last race for District 6. And a lot of things came up. And this is a video that I had to put out there so that they didn't go digging for it, because they'll take something that's positive and they'll put a negative spin on it. And what I want to say is that, and Angelique, she's coming on. I just saw her jump in. You know, I helped her buy her house too with no money. She's the one that invited me to come. But I want to just show you a little bit of this video when I got sued. Is that okay?
Definitely. Go ahead, brother.
All right. Give me just a second. I'm going to put it up here.
Kenny Session has 20 plus years real estate experience in the Bay Area. Kenny is the past president of the Association of Real Estate Brokers and past president of the Associated Real Property Brokers. And now, your host, your real estate broker, Kenny Session.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming. We have been here before talking about how good Oakland tenants who have been caught up in the housing crisis when banks foreclose apartment buildings and other rental properties. In far too many cases that we are seeing, families who have never missed a rent payment and who have played by the rules and been good tenants are receiving wrongful eviction notices in clear violation of local law and any standard of common decency. Eviction notices are often accompanied by these sort of cash for keys offers that do not come close to covering normal moving costs. And most of these evictions are being done by licensed real estate professionals here in the East Bay, working on behalf of some of the world's biggest banks. Despite repeated warnings and notices to the banks and their agents, they continue to violate the law and abuse good tenant families here in Oakland. We have tried to do it the nice way, and now it's time to not be nice. In recent days, my office has filed 5 lawsuits seeking injunctions to stop the banks and their local agents from evicting tenants illegally. We are naming 2 of the nation's largest banks, JP Morgan Chase and Fidelity National Financial, as well as their subsidiaries and a number of real estate companies and agents who do business here in Oakland. As licensed professionals in this field, these agents cannot claim ignorance of Oakland's law. Many of them have been warned by the city or by members of the community in past incidents that their behavior is illegal. But most importantly, putting aside the law, who doesn't know that throwing a family out of their home for no reason is wrong? I mean, if you have a reason, you buy a property, you want to move in, great. Law allows that. You have a property, a tenant is a problem, great. The law allows that the problem tenant can be evicted. But to throw a family out for no reason at all and in a way that violates local law, who doesn't know that that's wrong? We see these evictions as not only illegal, but as morally questionable. Unfortunately, there are real estate agents and brokers in the Bay Area who see this as an untapped market, a great business opportunity, a response to current market conditions. To reiterate, many tenants in this situation have never, ever been late on their rent. And many of these tenants had leases with their previous landlords. In some cases, the previous deadbeat landlord has disappeared with the tenant's security deposit, which makes it financially difficult, if not impossible,
So stop breaking
and
the
it
law.
resides right here in Oakland. In this lawsuit by John Russo, today is a sad day in Oakland for me. I've lived in Oakland for 27 years, and I've never been insulted as I have today. I've worked hard to build a business in this community, in Jane Bruner's district. And I actually own the largest African-American real estate company in Northern California.
So stop breaking
And
the
it
law.
resides right here in Oakland.
Could you come up? Because I'm going to let you rebut it.
I've built a business in this community for my family. I've built a business in this community that my community can be proud of. I have in turn been a truthful broker. I have told the truth at every stage of my career. I've been in real estate in Oakland for over 20 years. I've been investing and building this community not only to help my family, but with also real estate agents in the city. Many of the people that you see behind me are people that I mentor in the business. Some of these people that are here are people that you'll find out on High Street that used to be out there
that now we have been out working with them to turn their lives around so that we can make a difference in this community in terms of people having jobs. I provide jobs for most of the people that you see here. Many of you, I have been named personally, as well as Session Real Estate, in this lawsuit filed by John Russo. John did not investigate his facts. John did not investigate his facts. I believe there's several reasons for this lawsuit, and I heard the gentleman ask, why is it happening right now? I'm not going to talk very much about the case because I want you to watch.
Brother, I just wanted to show you just a little bit of it, man. Let's see, am I still on mute? I don't want to go any further. If you guys can go check out the rest of it, but you can see the gist of it. That's what took out a multi-million-dollar company in like that.
Hey, we appreciate your tenacity, brother, through the fight. You get what I'm saying? You're still standing. John Russo,
Still here.
You're still here, brother.
Still gonna be here.
You ascended through it all, and you kept pushing, and that's all that matters.
But let me tell y'all, everybody, it was very painful. I went through a lot of things, and I share the truth. I went through drug addiction after this. I got addicted to drugs. I got addicted to everything. I lost all my houses. I was homeless. I had to shut down my office at the corner of 19th and Market Street that we had been there making millions of dollars. But the cold part about it is that I'm a veteran. And I was able to go to the Veterans Administration and tell them that I had a problem. Okay, let them know that I had a problem. When I went to the VA, they gave me, and I got in their drug rehab program, and believe it or not, my son drove me because I was doing that bad. And I was like, son, I need you to see this. Come on, let's go. My son, I got in the car with my son. He took me to the VA to rehab. And in the rehab, I found out what the problem was anxiety and depression. People don't understand how bad that could make you feel. Because I didn't have it before, but then I caught that, and it was like I couldn't move. I couldn't even get out of the bed. And the only thing I found out that would help is go take a hit or go have a drink of some alcohol. It stops all of it for a minute. But when that alcohol or that hit goes off, you feel 100 times worse. So I'm real transparent with that, because in the 80s, most of the black businesses got taken out of here behind them drugs and stuff. And I was here during those times. So praise be to God. Today, I feel better than I've ever been. I'm clean and sober. I don't have no alcohol, I have a beer every now and then. But other than that, I love the Lord. And God is going to take care of me. All right.
Man, thank you very much, community. There you have it. Kenny Sessions, all right, the broker, the living legend. Okay, he's still here, blessing the people. Tony, any parting words you want to give to the community tonight before I give the benediction?
I just want to say, community, tonight was a beautiful first 2023 Hidden Gem show. As usual, Kenny, I'm proud of you. I appreciate what you're doing for our community. Keep doing what you're doing. We need more people with a heart like you and that has the desire to help our people. One thing I want to say is make sure you teach a couple of us. So whenever you do get ready to retire, you go ahead and pass the torch so somebody else can be the new Kenny. Because
we don't
John
need a new
always
Kenny.
talks.
I got a new
We don't
little
need
Kenny.
a new Kenny, but
Kenny
you know what I
Jr.'s
mean.
in the other room.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Because John talks about it all the time. The elderly's not passing the torch to the younger people so they can keep the legacy going. So what you're doing is beautiful, and I hope that you give me a house. I'm gonna be on your top of your.
Well, let me be straight with you right now. And I'm always straight. Right now is not the best time to buy houses. Okay, I'm just telling you, we're going through a transition. I've got people qualified right now, and I can't sell them houses because I can't sell them houses. It's just not the right time. The banks, if you guys go and look at the news, Wells Fargo has stopped doing loans. They don't do any equity lines anymore. You've got these lenders out here not loaning money because of they know the market is getting ready to crash. Why loan you $300,000 on a house that could be worth $100,000 next year? Right now is not the time. You stack your money, get your credit right, and then y'all keep watching me, and I'll tell you when it's getting ready to break, because I've been through it a couple times. I know when it's getting ready to break. Right now, I haven't sold a house in 6 months, and I'm struggling because of it, but praise be to God. I got family who love me, and they know I ain't no deadbeat. because you go through that. You go through those kind of times. But right now, I can't even in my right mind sell nobody no house right now, because I know you're going to be upside down and you're going to be calling me crying in 3, 4, 6 months because you can't make your payment, or the payment is too high, you done overpaid for the house. Can't do it.
And that's why you've been in the game so long, because your honesty in your heart. So again, shout outs to you, Kenny, for who you are and what you do. And community, Happy New Year. I just want to leave and let y'all know that it's a holiday week. Okay, I know it's not New Year's anymore. I know it's not Christmas. I get that. It ain't Valentine's quite yet. You know, it's MLK week, but it's also Tony Rochelle week. It's my birthday Friday. So y'all make sure y'all show me some love this weekend,
Tony,
okay?
We're going to show you some love. We want to say happy birthday. We should have had Barry White singing happy birthday, but happy birthday.
I can't sing worth a nickel. I can't sing worth a nickel. You don't want to do that.
Just keep talking. That's all you,
Hey,
you don't even need to sing.
Hey, Pretty Tony, I know you got to get. I know you got to get out of here, Pretty Tony. Happy birthday. Be safe out there. Hopefully, it don't rain too hard on your birthday. Definitely, I'm gonna pull up and celebrate with you. Yeah, I'm gonna come pull up and celebrate with you. We thank you for all the work you continue to do for our community, and we love you. Thank you, Pretty Tony.
Thank you,
All right.
community. Thank you, John Henry.
Thank you for having me.
Man, and we want to thank our Both Sides of the Conversation team. They behind the scenes grinding. For y'all that's just tuning in, just understand, okay? It's not my ugly face that make things happen. It's the team. We got some phenomenal folks behind the scenes that are doing stuff to really move our community forward. So I just want to give a shout out to our Both Sides of the Conversation team. I want to shout out Angelique for getting Kenny here today. And Kenny's going to get his daughter and all of his people on that's doing businesses. With that said, before we close out, I will give the benediction. I know everybody got to go. We went over a little late tonight, but I will give the benediction, because every great show and everything that we do here, we have to leave the parting words to the people. So with that being said, I want to say tonight has been another inspirational hidden gem. You all know this is the favorite show that I enjoy every week, because it's always positivity. It's a business owner. It's a community leader. It's a community organization that are doing something to impact our community positively. So I'm always excited. All during the week, there's things happening, good news, bad news. But on Tuesdays, it's the day that our community gets to see some phenomenal folks who look like them that are doing amazing things to impact our community. If you just tuned on, or maybe you missed it, we had phenomenal gems tonight. We had Emily, who came on, who are fighting the fight for people with disabilities. As you know, with the COVID, the things that goes on in our community, the disparities that impact our community, is happening to all people. But we cannot forget about our people that are disabled, our veterans, our folks in wheelchairs, our people that have hearing and seeing disabilities. We have to acknowledge that those people need support. They need community. They need love. They need people to advocate for them. We have the limbs and the eyes and the vision and the hearing that we need to get around and mobilize every day. But there are people who struggle in different ways. Whether it is vision, whether it's learning, whatever it is, have love, have compassion, have humility in 2023. Let's come together. Let's advocate for the folks who need support. Let's advocate for the voiceless. Let's do our part as community to uplift those who need the support and make sure that they are highlighted. We will make sure that all people in our community is supported and uplifted here at Both Sides of the Conversation. We talk about changing the narrative. Changing the narrative is supporting the community. And folks that suffer with disabilities, folks that are going, they don't want us to feel pity for them. They want us to understand. They want us to be educated. They want us to help be a part of the movement to uplift, so that they get the access, so they get the services, so they get the support that they need, so that they can have a good day and they can have the things that we have naturally that sometimes we don't even appreciate. Then we had Kenny Sessions, Brother Barry White. I don't know. His voice, very deep. All I could think of was Barry White when he started to talk. You heard from this king the transparency. You heard the truth, the things that he went through to help build Session Brokerage, the things that he's done to help impact the community. There's been a journey. There wasn't a path. There's a number of things that could have stopped Kenny from continuing to be the blessing that he's been, and so many people are on here on this team has been impacted by the work of Kenny Sessions. No money down, giving folks opportunity, being transparent, making sure that we have the right information so that when we get into these long-term contracts and sometimes the biggest investment of our life, owning a home, that we have the right things and we are intentionally prepared to hold on to that house and continue to build generational wealth. This is 2023. We're talking about passion. We're talking about moving forward as a community. The bishop will do his part. Thank you for praying for me. I've been down for COVID, but I will stand up. I will march with the people. I will take a step and stand. We have to continue in 2023. We have to connect before we hit correct. We have to bring the young and the old together. We have to have the conversations. We will have them here at both sides of the conversation. Make sure you tune in. Don't get too far out there and forget about everything that we're doing to impact community. It's a new year, new opportunities. We will keep pushing. The train is moving. The freedom train, as I said earlier, is still moving. All aboard. We have to move our communities forward. The Kwanzaa season has ended, but we're going to celebrate Kwanzaa and its principles all year long. Let's continue to build our community. Let's continue to build our Black ecosystem. We can't do nothing without the money, the power of ownership, and having the things that we need to elevate our community. We will be a part of that. We will continue to educate folks so that they understand how to handle their finances. We will continue to uplift the investments, the entrepreneurship. We will do that this year in 2023. I see great things. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things happening. Keep praying for the community. We're going to touch on the topics. We're going to make sure that the resources get there. We're going to make sure that the community is impacted. Make sure this Thursday, y'all get out there. Check out Director Davis on her amazing book release. Get out there. Support the people. Get out there and pick up Brother Kenny's book. Learn something. We have to continue to exercise our mind. If we don't do it, we won't be the ones prevailing. Hey, community, I love y'all. Make sure y'all tune in. Our next live show is this Thursday. We're trying to work out the logistics with this guest. We'll keep you posted. This Sunday, we're having a conversation about cosmetics. I know y'all see all of the people getting liposurgery, different things, enhancements. We're going to talk about it. We know there's been some failures and things happening, but what message are we sending to our young people, to our community? This should be a great conversation about cosmetics. Maybe we talk to some of the folks who've been through the process. Should be a great conversation. If you'd like to be a part of it, maybe you want to get on and tell your story, or maybe tell the things that you feel about it. Make sure you sign up. Check out. We got room for you. You can be a panelist for this Sunday's conversation. With that being said, be safe out there. The storm is still moving through. There's a lot of flash flooding that is happening on. People are losing their power. Please check on your loved one. Make sure our elders and the people that are disabled in our community have the medication, the services, the lights, the things that they need. If they need support, please reach out to 311. Please, community, don't use 911 for non-emergencies. I know there's a lot of street corners and things happening. Please use the 311 for those services, and let's all continue to do our part. This COVID, okay, it's still moving around in our community. I need my community to still wear your mask, safe distance, do your part to not spread COVID. And if you catch it, please isolate yourself so that we can make sure that our community thrives and get better. I'm doing my part. I'm staying away. I tested negative. I'm getting ready to come back. One more test tomorrow, and I should be good to go. Love you, community. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of conversations we're going to have. We're going to have our youth conversation. We're going to continue to have that conversation in 2023. We will make change. We will bring healing and opportunities to our community through the work. The bishop will be there. I love y'all. Be safe out there. Stay warm. Bring the pets in. And listen to Mother Nature. Tell all of us to settle down. All right? Have a blessed one. We'll see all you this Thursday. Both sides of the conversation. All power to people. Thank you to our team. And y'all have a blessed one. We'll see y'all soon on our next live.